Hi there, everybody, and welcome to week 8 of the Volunteer to Career Support Programme. I'm just about to share my screen and get the slideshow up so I can announce to you what week we're on, what today's content's all about. So I'll be 1 second. Here we go. Hopefully the screen is sharing. So yeah, massive welcome to the Volunteer to Career Support Programme hosted by Bradford District Care Trust. My name is Joanne Smith, and I'm the clinical lead for Volunteer to Career. And I just wanted to say a massive welcome for all of our new volunteer colleagues from Yorkshire Ambulance Service and from Gloucestershire. Thank you so much for joining. Today's session is all about how to impress potential employers. So something relevant for absolutely every single one of us, because who wouldn't want to impress their potential employer? Me being one of them, especially at the minute, because even no matter where you are in your career, there's always times when you're having to apply for vacancies. I'm with you on this journey. Trust me, I really am with you on this journey, and I really want you to be going in strong, feeling confident, and yeah. So I'm going to get into today's session and welcome Michelle. I can see you here on the screen. So we have invited lots of other people, but they've only been invited this morning, so they may have to watch back on replay. But that's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to move on to the first slide and share that. And for anyone, if this is your first time, then usually I spend the first sort of like 30 minutes or so just going through the session content, and then we have plenty of time. We have a good 30 minutes afterwards for any questions and answers at the end. So this is a picture of our team here. There's been a little change since the photo, but nothing massive. Claire, who was our volunteer service manager, has now moved over to Bradford Royal Infirmary, so she's still part of the team, just in an even bigger way, so we can share all our experiences and help each other. So just going to throw out a quick question just to get us into the spirit, just to get our head into a good space. So have a little think about what is the most exciting moment that you've had that's taken you closer to applying for paid work. So I'm just going to get you to reflect on that and have a little think. The most exciting moment where you've been like, yes, this is it, I am applying. I'll share a quick one that just popped up in my mind. And actually, for me, I think the most exciting moment I had was after my son was born and I was on maternity leave. And a lot of my colleagues, we worked in the hospital. We were paediatric nurses, and a lot of them had gone on to become health visitors. And I'd been invited to a wedding, and it was the first time I'd been anywhere since having my little baby. He's 17 now, by the way, so he's not he's much bigger than me now. But at the time, I'd been invited to this wedding, and all the other people were so excited about the health visiting job that they were doing. And I was just so inspired that I literally, this is an exciting moment for me because they were recruiting for health visitors. And I went online and I actually looked into it and I was like, I can do this. And I actually applied for it at complete random, unexpectedly, never planned to do it. And for me, that was the biggest, most exciting moment I've had. And it took me closer to applying for a career change, you could say. Which or the question was applying for paid work, but actually it was a career development for me. So I was already being paid for doing the role, but it was a pay rise, which is just as exciting too. I'm just going to turn my heater off as well because it's not cold anymore. Finally, it's not chilly anymore, and I apologise if I'm a bit coffee today, or I've just been having a little bit of the bugs that have been going around and just been struggling to shake that off this week. I thought I'd got better and then it seemed to come back again. So I'll just have a little sip. Okay then, the first part, which is always really helpful for looking for careers, is I've written this in lovely colour, quite bold, but always make contact with the recruiting manager in advance and arrange an informal visit or a meeting. All the job adverts that you see advertised, they all have the connect connection, contact, sorry, not the connect, losing my words today. They have the contact information on the bottom of the vacancies on NHS jobs, health care services jobs. I think I've said that website wrong, I'm sorry. Health services, healthjobs.com. I'm really sorry, I can't get the website today. So yeah, I'd always encourage you to drop them an email, ask for an informal conversation. A lot of them offer you can come for a visit. No guarantees that you'll get a reply if they're really busy, but at least you've had a go there, you've put yourself out there just to have that conversation. You may share some things about yourself at the opportunity when you do have that meeting that they'll recognize in your personal statement. If they're reading, they might recognize it and think, oh, I want to this person, we would really love to interview. So yeah, it kind of puts you in a much more advantageous potentially you have a little advantage there. If you've actually had that conversation, you can save a lot of time, because for yourself and for other people, because you wouldn't want to be applying for a role that might not be suitable, and you get a good feel for it too. So you will go in, you may well go on and write the application in a much more passionate feeling, which is always helpful if you're applying for something that you really, really, really want, because you've had this meeting with a recruiting manager, you've really thought, I really like them, I like the sound of the team, everything. You've done a little visit, you know where it is. You can write that coming from a real good energy of, yes, I'm really passionate and want this, rather than writing it from the unknown, which can sometimes be quite difficult. I think so. Yeah, just a couple of tips there to share, which will hopefully help you to stand right out. And this little bit here is all about the personal statement section, because each job, you'll have a job description, and they can be quite lengthy and quite big. But when you write in the statement, if you do it in the order of that, then you can make sure that you've literally ticked every single box for every little bit of experience that's needed, all the skills, and you can like match it up to the job description as you're writing it. So if you do it in the order as well, it can be really helpful for the managers that are reviewing the applications, because it can help them to be like, yep, they've got that, yep, they've got this. And if you do it in that nice, neat order, they're not going to be going backwards and forwards thinking, oh, I'm not sure if they've got that. If it's in a different order, it can be really hard to pick out whether you've got all the different bits of experience. So I always recommend to do it in that way, and put on in any of the keywords that are in the job advert, incorporate those words within your statement that you're writing, so that it'll help them just to know to pick out that you've got that experience. So a bit like an applicant tracking system, just to check that everything's in there. So yeah, do get those keywords in there, and highlight your achievements. Okay, this is what a lot of volunteers sometimes struggle with. They're like, I just don't have any relevant experience for this particular section of the job description. But I really encourage you to think really deeply about all life experiences, all things that you've done in life, in your volunteering roles. They're all transferable. It doesn't have to have been in paid work that you've had these achievements or you've got these experiences. It literally is the university of life, let's call it. We've all got lots of life experiences. We've all got, a lot of transferable skills. We may have been helping a neighbour with their shopping, for example. These are all really good examples of how, I've just thought that one to mind because it's something that I've done a lot with my mum's neighbour. I always tend to grab bits and get bits of shopping for her, but they're just nice examples if you really have never had paid work, or if you've had a massive gap, Think about things that you do in your life and in volunteering, and be proud of them. You know, don't feel that any of those achievements are not significant. This is what the NHS like. They're like real evidence and real experiences and real examples, not kind of just it described in a way that is just repeating back what is asked in the job description. So bring it to life and use a real life examples. And if you're struggling to come up with any, just speak to us. I'll speak to your volunteer support coordinators or anything like that. We'll help you to come up with some examples. Keep it professional. Keep it with normal standard text sizes, nothing too jazzy. Make sure that they're well checked for any typing mistakes and the grammar, and it's your first, what do they call this? It's like this is your advertising for yourself. So this is like somebody's first impressions of you. So yeah, make it interesting, make it real, use real life evidence and examples, and have fun with it. It doesn't have to be a difficult task. It's actually quite amazing sometimes when you can actually really get into doing these things, and it can be really, really a big boost for your own confidence and self-esteem when you get to do these things. You can look at it and think, oh wow, did I do that? Is that me? It's really it's a nice thing to do. And as for those that know me, they know that my role, my clinical lead role, has been temporary funded for 4 years now. So I'm on fixed term contract with my role. So I've been applying for roles for when it ends, because I don't know what will happen with the funding. So even after all of these years, 26 years, I'm going through a similar journey right now where I'm applying for roles. And I actually applied for a role a couple of weeks ago, and I had a lot of fun doing this. And when I read it back, I was quite happy with the outcome. And it just brought to my attention things that I needed reminding of about myself, because it's very easy to get stuck in untrue beliefs that other people have got more experience, other people they'll prefer. And remember, these are only our thoughts. They're not fact. Our thoughts are not fact. So actually, it gave me a really nice reminder going through the process. I've done 2 recently. Those of you that don't know, you'll be wondering, did she get an interview? Well, please don't be put off by the fact that I didn't get an interview. Just take that as reassurance that even if you don't get an interview, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with what you're doing. We just don't always know the exact reasons behind the scenes. What we do know is there's a lot of applications coming in. Sometimes they close early if they've got more than expected and they're not going to have time to go through the massive amount of applications. So don't take it personally if you don't get an interview. I've had the standard response recently, and I followed all the correct processes for applications. So I can smile and just know it's not a no. No, it's not a no. I can smile and be happy that it just wasn't the right one for me at the moment. So yeah, don't be put off, but at least if you are doing all of these things, you can really hand on heart, like, just if it's not meant to be, you can move on and feel okay about that and not dwell in that. So yeah, just take this as an opportunity to actually remind yourself about how amazing you all are. A couple of more key points just wanted to add. So make it personal. So make it personal to you. I've read some that have you read through them, but they've kind of just been a full replica of what the job specification is, and it's just been a case of rewording what is asked, but not giving any real life to it. So a bit like what I said before about use your own examples, and make it specific, but make it a bit fun and enjoyable to read. Make it memorable. Think about what's unique about you that they will remember you for. And I've got here about having an awareness of the trust values, because NHS trusts, they all have their own individual trust values, and all the websites, you can get them on the trust websites. Like we have We Care, We Deliver, We Listen. I think I've said them in the wrong order, but it's just different. It's just always good to show that you've got an understanding and that your values are aligning with their trust values, that will make you stand out and be more appealing to. We talked a bit about the passion and your enthusiasm, and this will come from maybe having that little pep talk with the manager, maybe doing a little research about the role and the area, but share that in your personal statement. Share that you've been inspired and that you've had an informal conversation and you've been even further drawn into the field of whatever area you're applying for, that you really, do put that in there. Make yourself stand out. Demonstrate how your background and your skills will fit perfectly to that job. So get something in there about how your experiences or what you're willing to do will transfer over into that role. So you can also, if there are particular areas that you acknowledge that may not be an exact transfer, you can always make a comment about how you're willing to develop and enjoy development, and you can always get your point across. But don't rule yourself out by, if you're thinking I don't quite exactly meet that criteria, because trust me, there'll be something that will transfer over. So yeah, be kind to yourself with this and go with anything relevant, any qualifications that you've got, any experiences. Last but all, there's a lot to do, and it sounds like it can be overwhelming, but it's not. Just have fun with it, like I keep saying. Aim to be as concise as possible, so get the message across as clear to the point as you can without too many words, because most of the personal statements have a section with a maximum of about 1,500. The one I've done recently was on the track.com system, and it was 1,500 words maximum. So I'm not going to lie, I wrote 2,000 and I had to cut it right down. I did cut it right down to make it really specific. So yeah, so just show that you have your genuine interest in the role. Key points, what have I got here? Oh, right, so that's the application part over and done with. We're now going to be celebrating the fact that you have an interview. Woohoo! Well done. So this is the next step, how we're going to act at the interview. So key points here: research. So I mentioned a bit before about the trust values, the missions, the values, any recent news, understanding the culture and specifics of the role that you're applying for. So just do your research as much as you can. And if you're struggling to find out anything, find someone that can help you. Find anyone. One of us lot, we're more than happy to help. The next steps really are practice, whether it's mental rehearsal, physical rehearsal. There's a lot of power in practicing and being prepared. So be ready for the interview questions. Most trusts have got like sample sheets with questions. And we have one that's linked with our trust values. So we've got recruiting using the trust values, and all the questions are all linked to the trust values too. So find out through the trust that you're volunteering with if that's possible for you to get a copy of that. For anyone in Bradford District Care Trust, I've got copies of those questions that I can share, and I can also share them in general, because I don't know how big they'll differ from trust to trust, but they will have similarity. So something, for example, tell me about yourself. It's just one of all these things that we can, if we're not sort of expecting, someone could ask us something that's a really simple question, like tell me about yourself, and you could freeze. So if you've actually had chance to practice it, whether that's in your own mind or whether that's in real life with a friend or a colleague, why do you want to work here? Why do you want this job? All these standard questions that just sometimes somehow surprise us, but they seem so obvious. But when you're there in the interview, they can really sometimes you think, oh, why did I answer it in that way? So yeah, be prepared. So describe a challenging situation and how you handled it. That tends to be quite a common question. But yeah, it really varies from role to role. So prepare and have some thoughtful questions that you've got some answers that are just there, just sitting there ready to go with, that you don't have to think about. They'll just come to you when you need them. And this comes from being prepared and practicing. And also it'll show them that you are interested in it and that you have been prepared. So listening, empathy, communication, teamwork skills, all really important. So if you can demonstrate them in any of those answers, then it's always really helpful for roles in health and social care. So just if you're aware of that, then that's all you need to do. The answers will come to you when you need them, and you can just relax knowing that it's all there. Do your best to smile, hold confident posture, looking, smiling, giving eye contact, all of these things. Messages of safety more than anything. The messages to yourself, I'm safe, I'm good. Your brain doesn't need to panic and think that something serious is going to happen and that you're in danger, danger, danger. We can reverse any of those feelings of anxiety that come over us naturally without we don't ask for them, but we're all humans. So for a lot of us, going into an interview can be quite daunting, and we can release some of those feelings of nervousness or anxiety. So we can quickly prove to ourselves, thank you, brain, for trying to protect me, but I'm good, I'm okay. We can let our shoulders drop, take a nice slow breath, whew, breathe in the job, breathe in, breathe out the fear or the stress. So you can go in there with a smile on your face and feeling brilliant. So practice it. Consider doing a mock interview with friends or a colleague. We're happy to do little mini interviews and things like that with our volunteers. So yeah, ask for help if you need it. Showcase your skills and your passion. Beyond the basics, employers want to see that you're dedicated. So talk about any continued education that you've been doing, any additional courses, qualifications, anything that you're doing. It just shows you're willing, you're committed. Do not forget the next bit. Definitely talk about your volunteering work. Definitely share your experiences from volunteering. Be proud of it. Share all your achievements, all the training that you've done. It really will make you stand out in a competitive market, you could say. So yeah, do not forget that one, and get that one in on the application on the personal statement part of it. And I noticed on the going through another an application last week, it said on it recent work. And when we went through it, I went through it with one of our HR advisors, and she advised that volunteers actually put on their volunteer work as though it is a current job. She said she would encourage the volunteers to put that in that box, because one of our volunteers had been out taken a long career break to bring up children. And so there was a big gap of over 10 years. And so the recent work looked like it was a long time ago. So we said, put the volunteering work in that box there. Even though it's not paid work and volunteering isn't classed as official work, it's an enhanced, it's an improving service. But HR advisor told me that was fine to put that in there, and that would have been helpful. So yeah, go for it, do it. Share the success stories. We were talking about preparing answers for interviews and also sharing it in the personal statements, the examples that we said, use real evidence of a real scenario that you've been involved in. And we talked about how the STAR method is really, really common in the NHS, and it's a really nice, clear way of explaining something in a nice, condensed way. So it helps you to do it in a way that doesn't use too many words as well and go on for too long. So you start with this situation, and then you say what was the task, and then what was the action, and then what was the result. So if you're creating a story that you want to share, so for example, I'm a health visitor, I might be working with a mum that's got postnatal depression. I might have done a referral to a special service, and then I might say, what was the situation? The mum was suffering from postnatal depression. I recognised this. I offered her support. She accepted a referral to a specialist service, and the action was that the specialist service offered that special support. I continued to support alongside, and the result was that mum improved massively in a short period of time. Just a really quick example of how you could follow that structure to share that story. And if that job that I'm applying for required me needing to have experience and knowledge in postnatal depression, I've just used a really simple STAR method to demonstrate that I've got experience with that. Really quick off the top of my head example there. So hey, don't judge me for that one. I won't judge myself. Yeah, that's really important too. Really be good to yourself. Don't judge yourself, and think, I can't do it, I'm not good enough, because you really are. So the organizational cultures, missions, try get it in there about how your values align with that. I think I've duplicated some of these slides, but hey, you can't repeat a message enough times sometimes. So it's good to hear these things over and over. And also employers are looking for candidates who not only have the skills, but they really do want you to be genuinely passionate. You can notice the difference between somebody who really, really wants it and somebody who's not really that bothered. You usually can really tell. Even if you think about examples from your own life where and how you've behaved, if you really, really want something compared to if you're not that bothered. So finally, following up on this, I just wanted to share here about how important it can be to actually follow up after an interview. No matter what the outcome, whether it's you've got the job or you've not got the job, thank you emails go a long way. Try and do this as quickly as possible. And keep in touch, reiterate your enthusiasm and your interest, because if now's not the right time, more opportunities will come, and those managers will remember you, especially if you've shown interest and you've been shown gratitude for the opportunity even if the opportunity didn't work out the way you would have hoped at the moment, that gratitude goes a long way. And do it in a professional way, remain professional. No going on Facebook making friends with someone thinking that they'll give you the job. Be professional, but stay connected. Even in the NHS, there's a lot of managers and teams that do have LinkedIn accounts, and there's all kinds of things now on social medias, and that can be helpful for looking out for opportunities. So yeah, keep your foot in the door. Following up is a good thing. Getting feedback. I know a lot of applications you put in, if it's not successful, they don't always offer that feedback. But if you can, then do get it. And if you're not able to get it, you can always share it with another person to look through. This is what I submitted. Could you go through it with me and just check to see whether there was anything really obvious that was missing, or where I could improve next time? So yeah, get help. And what's the conclusion? Impressing potential health and social care employers requires a well-crafted personal statement. So yeah, no rushing it. Really put your energy, but enjoy doing it. You'll get a lot from doing it. And also just being prepared for the interviewing too, and just having that practice getting yourself nice and chilled and calm, and practice with the questions and do the mocks. And yeah, showcase yourself, and your passion and your dedication and your commitment. And don't forget, I should add this to it, don't forget to talk about your volunteering. Shout from the rooftops about that, because we really appreciate everything that you all do in the NHS with your volunteering massively. So massive good luck with your applications. And yeah, really, really good luck, and thank you so much. I can't say that enough times. Thank you for everything that you're doing. And I'll just stop sharing these slides, and I will leave it at that for today's session. But please reach out if there's anything that we can help you with. Please reach out, get in touch when you're ready for applying. The sooner that you get on practicing writing the personal statements, the better, I would say, rather than the perfect dream job opportunity coming up, and then you kind of thinking, oh, how do I go about doing this? And then you sit down to do it and it can just feel really big. So even if you've just had a little go at looking, even if you're not ready yet to apply, you can just look for a vacancy that you might fancy, and just have a little look through it about how you might go about doing it now. You can't start soon enough. And on the NHS jobs, and let me get this website that I couldn't get the words out earlier, Healthcare Jobs UK. Let me get it right. I've not been very well, and you can tell, can't you? Because I can't remember a website that I've been going on like over and over again recently. I use the website all the time. Oh, let me have a look on here. Da, da, da. There we go. healthjobsuk.com. healthjobsuk.com. That was the website that I applied recently. Because in Bradford we use that as our main recruiting. I applied via that system, and fortunately, well, the first time I applied via that system, I had so much to input, so much data, because it did not have my history. So it didn't have all my qualifications, it didn't have my employment history, it didn't have my personal details. So you can do all that now, you can do it early. It's there then, and it saves it and stores it, so that when you do get that dream job ping through, I'm thinking, I'm a runner, you can tell, can't you? It's on my mind. Yes, you can always speed up your process, and you can then go straight for get the job description and start aligning all your experiences with that, rather than be thinking, oh, what year did I do that GCSE maths in? And then you're looking for all the history. So yeah, I encourage you, set up a profile, set up the alerts so that you get a instant message when a job's advertised that is suitable for you. Apply as early as possible, just in case they close the advert early, because I applied for one recently and I got a message to say they had over 110 applicants. And that wasn't even that was an expression of interest. So it wasn't an official full application required for that one. But yeah, I hope that this session's been giving you some things to think about. And yeah, just enjoy and have fun, and I will see you all next time. Thank you. Bye.